All right, guys, welcome back to the Five Random Football Guys show. We're all here except for Manny. Manny's in the background. He's doing his own thing. We don't even know what he's doing, but he's doing his own thing. We missed last week, so there's definitely a bunch of action that we have to discuss. We comes up. We're gonna start all the way back. I'm gonna let all the guys say hi. We're gonna start all the way back to the U.S. men's national team because we told Royal that he had homework to do. And that's where we're gonna. Everybody doing good?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, awesome. All right.
Still a fan of the team with the best striker in the world, so I'm doing great.
Zlatan's making a real case for that this season. Let me tell you.
We were talking about that the other day. So
Well, we could get into that too, but let's get into Royals' homework here. So the men's national team took on Panama and Wales, but we talked about the Wales game. We took on Panama last week or 2 weeks ago. I don't even remember. I think Monday, 2 weeks ago. They ended up winning 6-2. Royal got 76 minutes of action implemented in his brain, and I'm gonna ask you straight away. First, tell us what you saw, so we can break down what you saw and give our thoughts.
Okay, so first of all, I saw 76 minutes in which there was a combined total of, what was it, like 4 goals scored, and then there were 4 more goals scored after I stopped watching. So the first thing that initially stuck out to me was that the kneeling prior to the match starting. I was wondering if that was like something that happens all the time, but I thought it was pretty cool to see them showing solidarity with the cause that they believe in. So that was pretty nice. I've picked out a few favorite players from the team. Reyna is probably he was a good choice for me. It wasn't because of the early goal. To me, it just felt like he knew where he was supposed to be at all times. He kind of felt like a Chris Paulish type point guard out there, where he just made sure everybody was where they were supposed to be. He got the ball where it was supposed to go. I understand sports in general, so the game wasn't completely lost on me. But there were a couple other players who I saw.
You don't need to explain, Royal. You are a soccer expert.
But yeah, I was pretty impressed with McKinney, who he was number 8, I think. So it wasn't that he was scoring or anything. It was just the way that he played defense. Like, he was hounding people with the ball pretty consistently, and he made it tough for them to get into position to score. And so I was pretty impressed with that. And then number 18, Musa, I think his name is. Yeah, so Musa is another player who I was pretty impressed with. I don't think he scored or anything. I don't know. He just seemed like somebody who looked like he knew what he was doing to me. Like, he just felt like he was doing his job. And the last person was Joe. I can't spell his name. Akini.
Gioacchini, the striker.
Yeah, so he was the one he scored 2 goals while I was watching, and he was really like aggressive in terms of like trying to score. And so that to me stood out a little bit. And the way, like, it was one play where it was like a bunch of bodies around him. I think it was his second goal. It was like a bunch of bodies around him, and he like went in there head first. And I was like, that man know what he wants out of life. So those are my general takeaways. I mean, I appreciated the match. Like, I thought it was pretty exciting because a lot of those goals happened in the first like 8 minutes of it starting. And so that was pretty nice. But then I also heard that Panama wasn't quite at the level of the USA team, and so the talent disparity, I could see it later on, but like, and that was really exciting for like a first match to start watching.
So I'm going to tell you one thing, and you might be surprised by this. Giovanni Reyna, you said he was your number 1 guy. Giovanni Reyna is 18 years old.
Yeah, I learned that as I was watching.
Okay, and
Musa is 17.
Musa is 17 years old. So a lot of these guys that played were super young. This was a squad that had not played together before. It was all new. All these people are from Europe mostly, and they're all young talent. Most people on the team were young talent. So I'm glad you picked out those 3 players, because Wes McKinney's my favorite player right now. I don't know about you guys, but it's good that you picked out those players. I think you kind of know what you're talking about here, Roy. I like it.
Listen, homework is something that I've always been pretty adept at. Like, I was a nerd, so I do my due diligence when I try. And I actually I Googled some of the players as I was watching them play, so that I can kind of learn. Like, the age thing was something that stood out. And then I got a lot of help from some folks on Twitter, because I was asking, I don't know if it's a free kick or a penalty kick, but one dude like turned around in the wrong direction, and he was like, it's probably to protect the family jewels. And I was like, okay, that makes sense.
When he was standing in the wall, maybe like was it a
he was in the wall thing and he was facing in the opposite direction. So I didn't know why he did that. I didn't know if that was like a play or something, but he was like probably to protect his nuts.
Does anybody want to give any thoughts on the 6-2 win?
Royal, let me tell you something. I hate to disappoint you on how excited. I love how excited you are. It's adorable, really. Like the puppy love that you have for the U.S. team is what I aspire to have for life. Really, the way that you put yourself into that and just you wanted to impress us. And I gotta say, you are the MVP of the show today because just a standing ovation as far as the effort that you put in. Now,
Hold on. Hold on, Martin. Royal, I just ate some delicious food, and let me tell you, while I'm eating it, you entertained the heck out of me with your analysis.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, my friend.
I appreciate it.
You are one in a billion that can point everything out that you just did that are not into soccer. Thank you.
And the thing is, you really did pick out the key players in this team, which, like, it was spot on.
Okay, Royal already knows way more than Michael Wilbon, Colin Cowherd, Tony Kornheiser, Steve Bayless combined. Just
After
by
one
trying.
match.
So now let me just burst your bubble. First of all, that exclamation point doesn't belong there. Why are you excited? It's USA defeats Panama, period. There is no exclamation point. Let me tell you, Panama is the New York Jets of soccer.
Okay, wait, Martin, wait. In 2017, Panama Roman Torres, mind you, scores a late goal against someone. I don't. We were playing the U.S. was playing Trinidad, Costa Rica, right? Okay, so this was something that was big, especially because of the new talent that we had coming in that had not played together. And it was not a revenge game because obviously the implications aren't there, but a 6-2 win in an international friendly with all these young guys. Personally, I'm excited about it. Royal,
wait.
It should be Royal should be allowed to be excited about it. Let me just say that.
Just because you're leading our fantasy football league doesn't mean that you get to be excited. Okay.
Oh yeah, put that in the title. Austin's leading 5 regions fantasy league.
We're leaving that. That's a different topic.
So,
Martin, I appreciate your perspective because I do need a bit of clarity when I'm doing this because I actually want to be like immersed. I want to know about how good that is compared to what a legitimate like contender would look like. I want to see the difference.
The only, just to put it into perspective, the US didn't qualify for the 2018 World Cup because they were eliminated by the equivalent of the New York Jets. So imagine how disappointed you're gonna be this Sunday if the Dolphins lose to the Jets and miss the playoffs because of that loss, and the Jets somehow were able to make the playoffs at 1-15. That's how bad it is. And
Martin, you can't put that negativity in the air, man.
I can put whatever. I can put whatever the hell I want in the air, okay?
Royal, you should.
I'm not even wearing a mask. I'm not wearing a mask. I can put anything I want in the air right now.
We need to foster positive energy right now.
Why is Martin so negative, Ethan? Because it's the truth, Ethan. It's the truth. Panama is shit. Panama is nothing. You should not be excited about a 6-2 win over Panama, or even less, a 0-0 tie with Wales. You know what you should be excited about? When this really promising talent, let me tell you though, Pulisic, Dest, Reina, I agree with Royal. It's promising talent. But to get excited over a 6-2 friendly win in Austria that barely 7 people, including us, saw, that's not something to get excited about. World Cup qualifying doesn't start until March. So start getting excited there. But this team missed the 2018 World Cup. That's unforgivable. And the bar is low right now. I am trying to set the bar higher. Okay?
No, but
I'm from Argentina. I know what soccer is supposed to be about.
Argentina lost in the World Cup to Germany. So
you're living 6 years ago. You're living. Yeah. You're leaving. No. Royal didn't fail the homework. He was going off of what he was given. Now, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Germany 0, Spain 6. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
I have my problems with that. Also, read the mask real quick. It says, "Do not drool is not cool." Just saying. Just saying. Read the mask. I got 3 of them. But anyways, I got my issues with Germany. Okay.
Guy, do you get a lot of
now
girls
is
with that
not-
mask? I'm sure the girls are crawling after you with that mask.
Hey, listen, my 7-year anniversary is in March, so your joke just went all the way out the window.
No, that doesn't.
7 years. 7 years with your
Years.
blow up. 7 years with your
Good
blow
shit,
up
dude.
door. Congratulations.
Nah, bro. Martin, your jokes go out the window, just like Argentina's
Bro,
chance to
Martin's
win the
on
World Cup.
fire tonight, man.
Listen,
Martin,
He's
you
coming
beat
in,
Martin
man.
in Peru.
Spain-
Like, relax,
Spain-
bro. What do you get so mad about?
Spain beat Germany 6-0, and I wish that they beat them more because maybe the DFB would realize that Joachim Löw sucks. And get a
Nobody
new
cares
coach
about
that'll bring
Joachim
some
Löw.
character.
We're talking about the U.S. national team here.
Hey,
Joachim Löw
hey,
is
listen,
is
you
your
brought up
problem.
Argentina, so I have to bring up
This is
something else, you
America,
know?
okay? This is America.
Why'd you bring
This
up
is-
Argentina? Whoa,
This is
Martin,
America.
This is America.
listen.
Damn, guys. What am I doing? The ice here?
Jesus, bro.
Oh, okay. Royal, you get a 98% on your homework, okay? That's what I'll give. I'll give a 98%.
I feel like Royal deserves 100 for that. Why are we giving him a 98?
I'm giving him a 98% because he didn't mention Serginho Dest.
Yeah,
I mean-
that's what played really well, and he.
Dest played
I feel like even
Scored
today.
today.
I mean,
Today as well, yeah,
off
today
topic,
played
but
well.
he scored today, which is first American goal. No, first American to score for Barcelona ever.
in the
And
Champions
he
League,
was-
I think.
Yeah, in the Champions
I thought.
League.
Oh,
I don't know if
Pretty
it's
sure
ever.
in the Champions League. I'll check right now.
What
think-
number is that?
He was the
Number-
left. He was the left defender, left
number
back.
2.
He was
Put
number
this
two.
in the hang
I
on.
don't
Put this
know
in the
what number
poll.
is
I don't
he.
know if we have a poll, but put this in the poll. Did Royal ace his homework?
oh my god.
Oh,
Yes,
he
wait.
did,
I
he
have a question, though. I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Last time you guys were trying to explain something to me about the numbers in terms of soccer and the significance of number 10. And I don't think we ever got to the explanation. So I don't understand the significance of number 10 in the game.
Okay, number 10 wasn't on the field because I'm pretty sure that's Pulisic's number and they saved it for him. Christian Pulisic is the U.S.'s best talent, but he's injured. He was injured at the time, so he wasn't. He was technically on the roster, but he didn't go to the camp because he was hurt. It's not always that your best player is number 10 on the national team. Sometimes it is, but for just in general, the number 10 is kind of the central playmaker of the team. He's the heart and soul of the team when it comes to playmaking, creative ability, and things like that. It's usually a center attacking mid. That's what, that's kind of the position you would associate with the number 10. But in reality, it's just a creative playmaker. The guy, all the plays you want to go through him. He wants to be the guy to distribute and make plays going forward. That's kind of what a number 10 is.
Let's make it easier for Royal because you just confused the fuck out of him. Okay, let's make it easier. Let's make it easier. Okay, it's the number 10 is Pelé. The number 10 is Maradona. The number 10 is Messi. What do those three players have in common?
What about Ronaldinho?
Ronaldinho, yeah, you can put him in there. Platini, you can put him in there. So the number 10,
Rooney.
The number 10.
Get that Manchester United shit out of here. No.
Ever since 1958, the number 10 has been synonymous with the best player in the world. So if you get the number 10,
No, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it for one of the best Premier League players of all time.
Hurt.
I don't want to hear it for the best Premier League player of all time. I don't want to hear it.
just Austin,
Get
what did you? I don't know what you drank today, but Wayne Rooney, the DC United legend, is not one of them.
DC United legend.
He's not one of the best Premier League players of all time, Martin, when he's top 2 in goals and assists.
I don't care about your excuses. I care about.
I'm giving you
I don't
numbers
care
here,
about your
Martin.
logic.
I'm giving you numbers here, Martin.
The logic doesn't matter in this argument.
To get off
Talk
of
to me when you're in
Martin-
the playoffs for fantasy football, okay?
Oh, shit.
my
By the way,
God.
guys, I'm playing Austin this week. He's 7-4. I'm 6-5. He has his whole roster. I have Eckler and Kittle, my first and second round pick in the IR, and I'm only a game back from him. So
Manny, pull up the Mbappe picture. Yeah, or that one too.
So now you don't want logic. Okay, I see how it is. You don't want logic. You only want logic. Okay, you know what I'm gonna call you from now on? Kelly and Austin. That's why I'm gonna call you.
Damn, that's disrespectful.
Okay, all right.
That's disrespectful.
Well, listen, I don't. If I beat you next week, you don't have the right to call me that. I'll just say that.
Oh, by the way, I won the previous matchup between us. So he's talking shit without any.
But my record's better.
So what? I beat you. You're talking shit to a guy that beat you.
Oh god.
So
okay.
and we're playing again
I'm
this week.
I'm top of the league. That's all. I'm top of the
To
league.
get
No,
off
no.
of Martin's drunk roasting hour, Des is the
This
first
is so
player
great, though. We're
ever
15
to
minutes
score
in,
for
guys, and we haven't
USMNT.
even touched on Inter Miami. It's great.
Yeah, that I'm procrastinating actually.
Oh my God.
So do you know Des is the first American ever, no, not just Champions League, first American ever to score for
Yep.
Barcelona.
Wow.
What do
Yeah,
you want to
that's
say about Inter Miami, Manny? That they're a bunch of losers.
Yeah,
that
no,
they had a COVID trifecta. That they went to Nashville and they were a national embarrassment. That they didn't have a chance. That if you didn't tune into the game and you saw the final score, you could say, "Oh, that makes sense." That the playoffs weren't meant for Inter Miami. Is that what you want to say? Because that's what we need to say. Okay, 15 minutes and 57 seconds in, we're done with Inter Miami. That was all that we needed to know. By the way,
not wrong on this. He's not wrong.
All I wanted to say were the fans that flew out. Austin is here. He was one of them. The fans that went there, okay, during a pandemic year, went to support a club that it seemed they had absolutely no idea who their opponent was. Having 2 weeks to prepare. I don't care if Higuain was healthy in there. I don't care if they would have had the best midfield ever. They played on that field not giving a crap. And that is what I have a problem with. They had no effort, absolutely nothing. And Austin can roll his eyes, and he was probably
I agree.
What I watched on TV, it looked like they didn't know what they were doing. There was no midfield to back up anybody on offense, and half the time Nashville had the possession. Matuidi's running 20 yards back the other way. There's nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I'll say this.
One thing is losing 3-0, not knowing what you're doing, but you try. And another thing is losing 3-0, not giving a shit.
Here's the thing.
Inter Miami lost, and it looked like they didn't give a shit.
But the thing is, Diego Alonso overthought this match from the beginning. Absolutely overthought this match. After losing LGP, after losing Higuain, he was like, yo, what the hell am I going to do? He comes out with this 5 at the back formation, and we get dominated from the start. And it was bullcrap because the 5 at the back formation has worked maybe twice this year. It was the only time we ever went back to back, but they weren't good performances. So he comes out with this 5 at the back formation.
In a playoff game.
And he does it in a playoff game where it's like, what are you kidding me? You cannot dominate any possession like that. The wing backs were absolutely Mikey Ambrose and Dylan Nealis are not ready for that. They provided absolutely nothing. Matuidi and Trapp in the midfield. Matuidi was up way too high at times. Trapp could not defend the back line. Alvis Powell playing center back was probably the worst thing I've ever seen in my whole life.
Listen. Powell's recovery balls all in the middle.
Everything goes into the middle of the field.
Martin. Okay, Martin. Looking at Martin and Paul and Royal. All these guys we have on this panel would have known kick the ball out of bounds. The worst thing you can do in football and soccer is give up possession in the middle of the field, or in football as a quarterback, throw it in the middle of the field. This man literally said, "Here you go, Nashville. Here you go."
And that's how they scored.
It's ridiculous.
But let me continue. So once then we go down 2-0 in 20 something minutes. We have like 30% possession or 27% possession at the time.
Jesus.
We're down 2-0. Alonso comes in and says, okay, I'm going to make a substitute. He takes out the rookie Dylan Nealis. He throws in, I think, Pellegrini. And then he decides, okay, so now we're in this 4 at the back formation. I don't know what was happening in front of that because Lewis Morgan didn't play on the right wing since the substitution, which he had done all year consistently, perfectly fine. Pellegrini was playing on the right or into the middle. Pizarro had absolutely no position on the field at all. And that's what he's given Pizarro he's let him do that. He's been lenient with Pizarro in doing it, but it has not worked. It's never worked. It worked one time in DC when he scored, and that's it. But guess who was on the right side? Lewis Morgan. Lewis Morgan wasn't on the right side at all this game after the substitution. Even though they played a lot better after the 4 at the back formation switch, it still wasn't enough because they couldn't create any chances in the final third at all. There's no midfield to play through. Pizarro's not playing the number 10, so you have nobody to play forward. Juan Agudelo is probably the worst striker I've ever seen in my entire life. The worst presser of all time, has no business being on an Inter Miami field at all. Not even. I said this when he got subbed on for Robbie Robinson in DC in March. He has no business being here. Yes, he scored 2 goals. Yes, he scored against Orlando in the tournament. But it means absolutely crap. It means nothing. It means nothing to me. Absolutely nothing. He doesn't deserve to be here. If Higuain was playing, maybe it'd be a little different. But we got absolutely outclassed by a lot, I should say. I mean, it was a sad performance. Sad.
Guys, I have, first of all, I have 8 words for Inter Miami. Well, actually, Inter Miami, you are the weakest link. Goodbye. Okay. So that's, what did you expect out of a 7-13? And congratulations, you can count.
I was making sure.
Yeah, congratulations. But what did you expect out of a team that barely squeaked to the playoffs with a 7-3-13 record and a -10 goal differential, which was worse than the 2 teams that were behind them and missed the playoffs? Inter Miami had no business being in any kind of postseason, and the fact that they were playing against an expansion team and lost like that, it was a charity event.
Nashville has a chance to go. I'm not kidding you. After I saw what I saw today against Toronto and what I saw against Miami, Nashville has a chance to move on to the MLS final. I'm not even kidding. That team is absolutely quality. Mukhtar has been amazing for them. Defensively, you cannot break them down. They can go on and beat. I think they play Columbus.
They were the Dallas Cowboys of the MLS. They were 8-7. That's mediocrity.
Guys,
but it doesn't matter about the postseason. If they start playing well in the postseason, that's all that matters.
That's why the MLS needs to change, because rewarding mediocrity is absolute bollocks.
I mean, I'm not. Yeah,
that's why there should be a relegation system. Small plug.
Yes, yeah. Check out Kai's article.
Great column. That was a great column that you did. Well, like deep dive, but that was really good, Kai. I love that column.
Thank you.
So I wish you had referenced the Argentinian league, but I'll take the Bundesliga.
Nashville beat Toronto tonight. Toronto, the number 2 seed in the East, second best record in MLS as a whole, and they go on and win 1-0. They could have won 5-0. To be honest with you, they missed so many chances, and they pride themselves being a defensive team. They completely outclassed Toronto, just like they outclassed Inter Miami. They're going to go on. I honestly, I'd put my money on them to beat Columbus.
So what? If the Eagles or the Cowboys end up beating the Bucks in the first round, I'm going to say the same thing. Like mediocrity, losing to a mediocre team. We didn't know that Nashville was going to be on fire, but losing to a mediocre team is not something to be like, oh, sorry. Like, one thing is to lose against a team like, let's say, the France that won the 2018 World Cup, or a Brazil that has a history. But losing to Nashville and being like, oh, we lost a team that won 2 in a row, and that's your refuge.
No. You're right that we shouldn't have been in the playoffs in the first place. You're right. If actually, it would be better for this team if we didn't make the playoffs, because then it would be a real reality check. And as much as this was, a reality check with where this team is at, we should not have been there at all. But I'm saying, you said that we lost to a mediocre team, when I think Nashville has really come into their own and is a lot more than mediocre. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't know if it'll be like, I don't know if it's bad that an expansion team makes the playoffs though, Austin. Like, I think anytime that you can get a team like this some playoff experience, then it's good for the organization. Like, no matter how they got in, like even if they got the doors blown off their ass when they got there, like they made it.
Well, they expanded the playoffs.
Philadelphia had the best defense in the MLS.
No. Nashville had the most clean sheets and the defender of the year. But
Philadelphia had 20 goals against, and Nashville had 22. And then you had Columbus Crew with 21. I mean,
Nashville is a better defensive team than Philadelphia.
But the numbers say that they allowed the third most
by
goals
2 goals.
So that means that you have 2 more goals than the best defense.
Guess what? Well, here's the thing. Nashville has 0 goals conceded in 2 matches in the playoffs, and Philadelphia is losing 2-0 in their first match.
So but that's 22.
But the postseason is a whole different animal. That's why
exactly. That's what I'm saying. You can't call Nashville mediocre if the postseason is totally different.
I can call the Seattle Seahawks that went 7-9 mediocre, and accept that they beat the Saints on a humongous run by Marshawn Lynch. 2 different things. The Saints shouldn't have lost to the Seahawks, just like Inter Miami can easily lose to Nashville. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that we shouldn't put Nashville up on a pedestal. Okay, that Inter Miami had problems from the get-go, from that tournament in Orlando. Okay, it started 0-5. It's kind of amazing that they actually made it to 10th place to begin with. It was greedy, and they actually tried to get better, which I appreciate, with Higuain and Matuidi. This team tried. I'm not saying it didn't, but because of the talent that they brought in, because of the Matuidis and the Higuains that excited us and made us think of big things that could happen. To go down like Manny said, without giving really much of an effort at all in the team's first ever position game, the match that was going to be the answer to a trivia question forevermore, and for that answer to be a 3-0 loss to Nashville, that's kind of depressing.
It is. Paul, I'm going to ask you, what's Inter Miami's priority going into next season? What should it be?
Well, for me, I think after the aftermath of that whole debacle with the loss, I know one of the players came out and said that a big problem was the language disparity between Diego Alonso and the players that didn't speak English or didn't speak Spanish. And I kind of wondered too, because I knew that because Alonso is Argentinian, right?
Yes.
No, Uruguayan. He's from Uruguay. You're gonna piss them off. Okay, that is a cardinal sin in South America. If you tell a Uruguayan,
okay, I figured it was Uruguayan or Argentina. I think did he coach in Argentina?
What? No.
No,
Argentina has never had a foreign. Stop trying. Okay, stop trying.
And just
take a time out. Take a time out. Let's go to Royal right now. Let's take a time out with Paul because I think Paul is just digging the hole deeper, and I want him to stop.
So no problem. I have a question about some of the points that y'all was making. So you referenced 5 in the back. What Inter Miami played. Does that mean that they moved some people back further to help with the defense?
Right. So they usually.
Defensive players in the back line because you have your forward, midfield, and then your defense.
So
how
technically,
many usually back there?
Usually it's about 4. So you have 2 central defenders and then 2 out wide. What Inter Miami did was play 3 central defenders and 2 out extremely wide. And then when Alonso does this 5 at the back, he puts the wing backs on the line the entire match, which is stupid. But 3 central defenders, 1 here, 1 out wide, 2 out wide, and it ruined Inter Miami because they didn't have a chance to have a playmaker in the middle of the field in front of Matuidi and Trapp. They didn't have, they had Pizarro on the left wing, and he doesn't help defensively on that side. He does track back. He doesn't make a lot of efforts, but that's only when he loses the ball. Juan Agudelo is up top. He can't get any service because 5 at the back and 4 at the back. That was it. Sorry, I just started ranting again.
No, it's cool. Like I like the way that you talk to me like I know what the hell you're talking about. The audience knows what you're talking about, which is all that matters at this point.
Okay, let's come back to Paul here to talk about our Peruvian head coach.
I apologize, Martin. I know that I definitely...
Don't apologize to me. Apologize
today.
to the Uruguayan community that's 55 strong here in Miami, okay?
Yo, Martin, you're on something today, man.
Yes, indeed. Bro, did something happen to Messi today? Jesus.
What happened?
Martin's been holding this in. If you think about it, Martin probably had this bottled up for a long time. Honestly, I mean, it is kind of a pity thing that they were 10th in their conference and they made the playoffs. I feel like that was kind of a pity thing. Honestly, I just really think it's just the language disparity. I feel like if it, I think with COVID kind of throwing off, I think I know like some of the Spanish speaking players were trying to learn English or something. It's something like that. It throws the team off. Because I always wondered going in. I remember like just hearing like Diego Alonso just seemed like he primarily he spoke Spanish. I mean, I had no knowledge if he spoke any English at all. But there are a lot of guys on the team that primarily grew up in America and just kind of just spoke English.
Okay.
And it can matter a lot. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to give context.
I'm sorry. Wait. Sorry, Paul. That is just plain wrong. Look, Marcelo Bielsa, he's an Argentinian coach. He doesn't speak a single word of English, and he's the manager of Leeds United in England. The language barrier has been something that can be surmounted for years now.
Yeah, Paul, listen, I understand what you're trying to say, but it's not as much as the language. It's much as you as a coach, you have a scheme, and you want the players that are on your team to fit that scheme.
Yeah.
And it's quite clear that whatever scheme that Alonso has, he's been trying all season to find the right mixture, but it's quite clear. First year of a club, how many options really are there? I mean, let's be honest here. I was excited for Matuidi. Don't get me wrong. Does he fit here in the scheme that he wants? You watch games with Pachuca that he coached? Absolutely not. He doesn't fit in that type of way that he would want him to. But I listen. I really feel like Alonso needs to have a little bit more hands-on on the players that he wants that are available. Obviously, this is the MLS. This is not EPL. This is not La Liga. You can't just buy anybody for $50,000 or whatever. So I feel like he needs to find more players into his scheme and needs to realize that the MLS game is different. It's not the same as it was in Mexico.
I posted a Twitter thread about Alonso and how this team was basically doomed from the start because their thought of a manager was not Diego Alonso. It wasn't. And when they started bringing in players from Argentina to start, like Carranza and Pellegrini, and building this roster without an actual manager, it definitely set things off. And nothing that started off this year fit into Alonso's play style, and it doomed us from the start. What also doomed us was this language barrier. And I know you guys are going to say it's bullcrap, but it did come, and just give context, no opinion here. It did come from AJ De La Garza, who did start. And in the press conference, he was saying that more players that speak English need to start speaking Spanish. That speak Spanish can't speak English. All of these kinds of things. Alonso has to have a translator at all times. So somebody said on Twitter to him, "This is the biggest BS excuse ever." It was under the clip. Football is a universal language, but people from all over the world and a ball need to be playing football, and they know they're playing football.
Do you know how many foreign players there are playing at Barcelona, at Real Madrid, at Manchester United, at Juventus? You think everybody speaks Italian? You think everybody speaks Spanish? No, but the managers manage to be understood because, first of all, football is a universal language, and second of all, for decades, managers have managed to succeed without surpassing that language barrier. So that's complete BS, and I'm not buying it for a second, okay? Well, don't even try to sell it to me because I'm not buying it for a second, and I'm that serious here.
No, let me read to you the rest of what.
Not an excuse.
Let me read the rest of you what AJ De La Garza said. So after that response, he said, "All right, now let's put this into context for you. A play happens on the field. You want to talk about it with your teammate. Neither of you know what each other is saying. There's a breakdown in communication." He said, "It was addressed." Somebody said, "Well, I can't believe this wasn't addressed." He said, "I mean, it was addressed before the season in that English classes and Spanish classes were available for the players, but COVID happened. And myself and others did Duolingo, but it doesn't help me on the pitch to know how to say hamburger in Spanish."
So what happens when a catcher has to communicate with his pitcher that speaks Spanish and the catcher speaks English? What, they don't understand each other and the team loses? No.
And now, Martin, here's where I have an issue. Listen, we've been all through a pandemic. We've all been stuck at home. If you don't know the damn language of your head coach, common sense would be, hey, let's get on a Zoom, talk every day. We know we have a tournament coming up.
Rosetta Stone.
Let's get this shit together. Don't wait until 3 weeks. Like, oh, well, listen, he said bola afuera, and I didn't understand what he meant. Nah, man. Like, those are things that should have been taken care of in-house. Listen, you have a Dutch coach coaching in Barcelona. You mean to tell me that he can't get the word across what he wants Messi to do? Come on, man.
But don't you? I mean, I'm not trying to defend this either. I'm partly in the case of Martin right here. But don't you guys think that maybe in the MLS it is a little bit different? I mean, when you bring up clubs like Barcelona, you bring up clubs like Manchester United, if you have coaches who aren't from there, I mean, take it even like with Bayern. They got Alphonso Davies from Canada, and the first thing he did was go to
Almeida doesn't know English either. Almeida doesn't know English either.
Martin gave the greatest example. Marcelo Bielsa, bro, in Leeds. He gave the greatest example. Leeds had nothing before Bielsa was there.
But also, a lot of these clubs have more international players 24/7, don't you? I mean, obviously, look, I'm not trying to back it too much, but isn't the MLS a little bit different in terms of maybe some communication?
No, just plain
no. Martin, I'm in your corner. I'm just saying, like, isn't there?
Stop trying to make this a thing because it's not gonna be a thing that happens just because there are 2, 3, 5, 7 different languages in a clubhouse or a locker room. Look, I worked for the Diamondbacks, okay? Yeah. Half the clubhouse spoke Spanish only, and half the clubhouse spoke English only, and yet it was one of the most cohesive teams I have ever seen because baseball brought people together. Soccer brings people together. It's not that hard to raise your hand and say, "Here, I'm open." That's or just pointing somewhere and be like, "Hey, watch out over there." You don't need to say much to be understood. Okay, so don't give me that language thing because I am not buying it for a second, and I hate that we just spent 5 minutes trying to peddle this bullshit because that's what it is.
Well, no
It's
one's
bullshit.
trying
I
to
don't care.
peddle it,
I don't
Martin.
care
No,
who say
no,
it on
we're
Twitter.
all. I think we're all in agreement.
We're all
with
in
your
agreement.
thought.
You're
I
just
was
you're
trying
yelling
to
at
give
nothing.
the context of what the actual discussion
Yeah,
was.
all
about.
Austin was doing was giving context, and I was just posing the question: would it be different in the MLS? You're
Question.
screaming at like a mirror.
Here's a question. Here's a question I'm going to pose for everybody. After hearing all this with Alonso and the formation issues and the personnel issues within the team, does he deserve to be the manager in 2021?
He has one more year.
One more year.
Well, he said.
One more year.
Yeah,
I say one more
I
year,
think
too.
I think if they can have an offseason where they
And
bring
that is
in
only,
players to his
and,
liking.
Austin, that's only because it's a new club. That's it.
Fair enough. A lot of other teams, like I think Martin and I, we had a couple of pregame shows about this. How we talked about how in other countries, like clubs are ruthless when it comes to managers.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there was like I think there was a manager at Atlanta United. He got sacked really early on in the year, and MLS has had a tendency
Frank
to
de
do it, but
Boer?
also at this. Yeah, Frank de Boer, he got sacked on really early, right?
Yeah.
And so MLS
After
doesn't
Joseph
have a,
even gets
Kept
injured
losing
too.
to Orlando. He could never beat Orlando.
yeah.
Well, think about that too. Like he loses Josef, and they were just like, "All right, cool, yeah." So we're still gonna fire you anyways.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, it is what it is. But anyway, so one more year for Alonso. Do they need to? They need to bring in off-season personnel. They need to bring in other players. They
Yeah,
need to
that's been
make,
his
this roster
team.
has
Go
to
get players from Pachuca.
Wouldn't you? I mean, would there be a chance? Austin was like somehow how you mentioned that when they were building the roster out before they even had a coach, it wasn't necessarily for him. Do you think that maybe it's like maybe a year and a half to 2 years at least that the club is thinking? Obviously, fans, you want success now, but do you think maybe like there's a little bit of understanding, or you think it has to be that 1 year and out?
It depends on what your measure of success is, really. I mean, what's your measure of success? Winning a postseason game, not.
Well, I don't think that they look at this as success. I mean, I don't think that they
on
would
the field
look at
it
this
wasn't
and say it's
successful.
success.
On the field, nothing was success. But off the field, I think Inter Miami had great success in terms of everything else the club has to do other than actually play. Right. So
the home field advantage is gonna be nuts next year once everything comes back to semi-normal. People like Manny and Austin and the rest of the Inter Miami fans are gonna make that stadium one of the loudest, one of the more creative, one of the more hostile places in the MLS. That's for sure.
Vice City went into Nashville and turned that stadium into an Inter Miami stadium. Let me just say that. Shout out, dude. Best fans in the MLS. I'll just say that.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, enough MLS talk. We're gonna move on to Champions League. It's up to you guys. I mean, we totally could. Okay. So one thing I'll take away very quickly: Manchester United did win, but all the favorites won today. Any games stand out to you guys?
Would you really consider PSG the favorite over Leipzig though, considering Leipzig won the fixture before?
Well, like Neymar and Mbappe weren't playing in that fixture, were they?
I don't think. Oh, actually,
I think they were both out.
I think they were, but let me check just in case.
I think they were both out that fixture. I would have considered PSG the favorites in that game. But yeah, it was a 1-0 win for them. It was a sloppy win, I'll say that.
It wasn't a penalty kick either, Di Maria, though.
Well,
yes. Neymar and Mbappe didn't play. So yeah, I guess you would say they're the favorites.
And then Chelsea got a late Giroud got a late goal. Munir for Sevilla got a late goal. United, Bruno Fernandes scored an absolute banger today. I hope you guys all saw that.
We had 3-1 victories in the 90th minute. That was pretty exciting. Sevilla, then Juventus also with Morata. And then the other one was which one am I missing? You just mentioned it. Shit, but yeah, we have
Chelsea.
Chelsea was winning in the 90th minute, but really the group stage has been kind of I mean, the only group with any suspense is the Manchester United group. The rest are pretty set.
So, yeah. Really quick, guys. I just want to. I'm going to bow out because I have a long drive tomorrow. I'm going up to see family for Thanksgiving. You guys have a safe holiday, and I'm not going to have anything to contribute moving forward. I would like some explanation on my grade next week or the week after when we do this. All right, you guys.
All right, Royal. Stay safe, man.
See you, Royal. Happy Thanksgiving. And now we got awkward.
Well,
it's chill.
We're good. Listen, we never get awkward.
Things are always exciting.
I'm gonna look at these scores really quick.
Listen, all I know is that a couple of weeks back, our man Austin here was crying and crying and crying. He was freaking out. But yeah, here we are, and where Manchester United did what they had to do. They beat a team that beat them.
Oh yeah,
rather convincingly. Now the question will be, how do they perform going forward? Do they use this as a stepping stone, or will they have fault things, here and there where draws are happening, and then maybe a loss, and then they'll win 2 straight, but then they'll lose 2 straight?
The thing is, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs to figure out what the starting 11 is. Donny van de Beek needs to be playing week in and week out, and Cavani. I mean,
for a reason too. Like
right.
You don't bring, especially coming out of like that talented Ajax team, like in terms of their youth, like you don't bring him in there just to sit on the bench.
Exactly, no. And everybody. The thing was, the English fans were saying, "Oh, this guy's a number 10. He's not going to fit in with Bruno. We're going to have too many attacking midfielders with Pogba." This guy slotted in perfectly next to Fred and protected the back line this game, all game. They had problems with Edin Vishka, who was fantastic today, but Donny van de Beek deserves to be in this team week in and week out. Cavani needs to be playing striker week in and week out because the movement he provides forward and causes so many problems for defenses. It was good to see. It was against Istanbul, so I got to bring my expectations a little bit down there. But I think that the lineup he had today needs to almost be the every week lineup. I would say Pogba for Fred, even though that might be a little scary defensively, but Fred provides nothing. He loses possession every time he touches the ball, but he's a very good defender. So I guess that's Pogba. I think is still injured or whatever's going on with him. He wasn't even in the squad, but yeah.
I guess if Bruno plays the way he did today against bigger talent, then you're fine with Fred and Van de Beek, right? Manning that, yeah.
I wanted Van de Beek in my midfield, man. Have you seen Real Madrid's midfield as of late? Everyone has COVID.
Inter Real Madrid tomorrow. Can't wait.
You said that 3 weeks ago, but yet we won the game.
Are they going to win? Are they going to win tomorrow?
Are they going to win tomorrow?
Man, listen, it's going to be difficult, man. Listen, no Benzema, no Valverde, no Casemiro. Where is Lucas Vazquez going to play? As far as I know, they might pull him at goalie if Courtois gets hurt. So I really don't know anymore.
Is Isco playing?
Isco is playing, but reports came out today that he wants to move on, so that doesn't go well.
Yeah, he's fallen off. I'm not going to lie. He's fallen off
a lot.
I wanted to start him, but now it's saying he doesn't want to be here. Okay, just like James, get out of here.
Look, if Real Madrid loses tomorrow and is in last place with 2 matches to go, there are not going to be no excuses. Fans aren't going to care.
They're screwed if they lose tomorrow.
No, they're not. No, they're not done. Okay, because if Inter wins, let's just say that the same Borussia Mönchengladbach that won 6-0 at Shakhtar last month is gonna win again. So they're gonna go to 8 points. If Inter wins, they will have 5 points, and then Real Madrid will have 4 points along with Shakhtar, and then Real Madrid will have to go to Ukraine to play against the same team that beat them 3-2 in Madrid in week 1, and then they would host a Borussia team that would already maybe be in by that time. So it's wide open, but Real Madrid needs to win just to avoid a collective freakout and for all the talking heads to explode.
Real Madrid for Europa League champions, maybe if they finish third in the group.
That hasn't happened in 2 decades. Get the hell out of here with that.
Think about
if they finish third, they're going straight to Europa League.
It's a real. If Inter and Mönchengladbach went out, then they go to the Europa League, wouldn't they?
Say it again.
And keep in mind that Real Madrid is also in 4th place in La Liga, 6 points. 6 points.
Guess what? We have 1 game left, Martin. We have one game less played.
Yeah, but I mean that's still. I mean that would be enough. That would be enough for half of Madrid to just go nuts.
Martin, but have you seen our injuries?
Yeah, but still, it's Real Madrid. There are no excuses. There are no excuses. It's Real Madrid. No excuses. Get out of here.
When Riquelme didn't play for Boca because he was hurt, all of a sudden there's no excuses. Come on, man.
Dale Boca, dale.
I mean, both you guys have a point, though. I mean, thinking about it with Madrid, like you're expecting wins, you're expecting titles, like
no Ramos,
right? But fans don't really think that in that like there are some hardcore fans that don't really see that. They just see the result, and then people go crazy. They don't look.
You see the name, you see the brand, you see Real Madrid. You're expecting
exactly. Yeah.
But if you see a Varane Militao partnership tomorrow, watch the game because Lukaku's gonna go nuts.
No, I'm not saying you, Manny. I'm just saying that there's some people that they'll just see the loss and they'll see whatever, and they'll be upset. And I'm like, if Inter and Gladbach went out, then they're finishing 3rd.
What was that, Paul?
the media over there is ruthless. You know this. Like Madrid
Yeah.
media will eat up.
Absolutely,
the entire team.
absolutely.
Yeah, like
I
even with
agree.
Pulisic, I get you, Manny, too. Like you have a point, but at the same time, I feel like there's probably I've never seen a team under more pressure in the world than Madrid to win. Like the expectation is only to win, and that's it.
True.
There's no excuse.
Yeah, that's true.
That's just how they are. So
That's true.
it is what it is.
So let's run through predictions for that game tomorrow. It's probably the biggest one on the slate, other than maybe Liverpool Atalanta, and then I think we could head out of here. So
wait, did Bayern play today?
they play tomorrow.
Play Salzburg tomorrow.
Salzburg.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Should be a fun
It was
one.
they should have lost. They should have lost the first one. They
Very
should have
fun
lost the
game.
first one. So tomorrow, and there's been a lot of things that aren't that great right now. Like Niklas Sula hasn't been starting because Hansi Flick reportedly is not happy with his fitness levels of how he's been kind of, I guess, according to the reports from Bild, and it is Bild, but it's kind of been confirmed a bunch of different times. Hansi Flick essentially reportedly called Niklas Sula fat. So it'll be interesting to see kind of what happens with that. And then just, not having Joshua Kimmich is a little hurting. And then on top of that, freaking, what's it called? Tolisso is always flip-flop. So they should have lost the first leg, and that's with all these guys in. So tomorrow, I'm a little scared. I can't lie.
All right. So I'll start off with the predictions tomorrow. I feel like it'll be a draw, 2-2.
Okay.
Unless Varane decides to pass the ball away and Lucas Vasquez is moved from left back to right back to midfield to then forward, then we're screwed. But we had a tough draw against, I believe we played Villarreal. Well, I think Villarreal should have won that game. Jesus, like if you would have seen the chances in the second half, my goodness. But Inter is a team as well. When it comes to big moments, they haven't really flourished as of late. And no fans in the crowd either, right? I mean, it's basically at the San Siro. I mean, that stadium right there, when it's packed and it's Champions League night, it becomes something magical. But let's be honest here, there hasn't been anything magical from the Champions League since they came back with no fans. So that for me that's why I'm saying it'll be a 2-2 draw. I feel like we'll somehow get the lead early, but then Zidane will just want to pack it in and just get the point, and then get home and wait to play at Ukraine.
On the weekend, Inter went down 2-0 and ended up winning 4-2 in the Serie A. So
didn't Lukaku score all four as well?
I think he scored.
Yeah, he's gonna be playing this time. So
yeah. And if he's going against Varane and Militao, that center back partnership, bro. I like the 2-2 prediction, but I think it'll end up being 2-1 to Inter's favor.
I agree.
Martin Paul?
I think I'll go 2-1 Inter. Because Militao is still fresh off of COVID, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Everybody had COVID. Martin, everybody from South America that returned from play internationally has COVID.
Luis Suarez, everybody. Half of the Ecuador squad. Yeah, it's that's the CONMEBOL's brilliant plan. Bring everybody in from Europe and help the pandemic spread. Congratulations.
Awesome. But what about Ecuador, man?
I was literally bringing it up right now.
Losing that tough game in Argentina, you guys, bro, have come out with a vengeance, man.
Bro,
I can't say much about my Peru because we're deciding to play a guy that scores goals in the MLS. I have no idea why we keep putting him up top.
This is what I'm afraid of. This is what I'm afraid of with this.
You try to play against Argentina like you guys were the bosses, and we showed you who's really boss. That's what happened.
Well, you didn't do anything in that game, man. Really, you didn't do anything in that game.
We should have won 3-4-0.
This was Messi's face every single time. Hey, come on.
Yo, he had it ready. He had it ready.
Always.
No, the thing is with Ecuador, they did this in the last qualifiers. All throughout high school, I remember it was good, and it was good. We were at the top, and then it just absolutely tanked, and we kept on losing games. And I had a World Cup with no USA, no Ecuador. So my expectations are managed. I'm not getting too hyped about it. It was a great win against Colombia. I think it was 6-1 or something like that. But
6-1,
yeah. So I'm happy. It was great, and I just hope they can continue the form moving forward. But these South American qualifiers are tough, very tough.
Oh, always. And it's never. Listen, the 1 point of a draw can be the difference between you making it to the World Cup or you playing in that group where you got to play somebody else from the Asian side or whatever it is. So
Peru goes to Bolivia and hosts
We play
Venezuela
Bolivia
in the next.
and Venezuela. It's the most crucial 2 matches ever in Ricardo Gareca's tenure as head coach. If he doesn't get 6 points, I think Oblitas has to pull the plug on him.
No, I say 4 points. You got tie in that altitude. I mean, that you can't expect to win. You got hope for a tie. And
6
then
points, Brian. 6 points. You made the World Cup. How what was it? 2 years ago or whatever the case was. The stakes are higher now. Stakes are higher.
What's your prediction, Paul, for Real Madrid Inter?
Oh no, I said I'm gonna say 1-0 Inter.
1-0. He changed. He went from the 2-1 to 1-0.
I thought he said 2-1, and now he's saying 1-0.
I just don't feel.
You gave him too much time.
Something is just not. I don't know. I'm not really. I don't feel like they're in great form right now, especially with COVID taking over the team now. I don't know. Inter. I feel like Inter. They've had 2 draws in the last 2 games, so I feel that they're itching for a win.
Got you.
Really quick question for you guys, Manny and Paul. I'm not sure if I had asked this before, but what is your regarding like take injuries away and COVID and everything like that? How have you guys felt since Zidane came back? Like just a quick answer. I don't know if you really give a quick answer, but just like how have you felt about him as the manager since he came back?
I have felt that he has more control, as in, we're not as worried. Well, me personally, I'm not as worried when things go wrong. I do understand that we didn't sign anybody once we won La Liga last season. It's been the same guys. We lost James, we lost Bale. Those guys are flourishing in England, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Like, their relationship with our head coach was non-existent at that point, so it wasn't going to work. I was crying out for Cavani. I know we needed another striker, but apparently he wants to lay trust in the eyes of Marian Diaz, who, he scored a goal this weekend against Villarreal, but that's not going to be enough to win anything, really, to be honest, right? So, and it's the same team that won the 3 Champions League. When you kind of look at it, it's the same roster, just a different goalie. Maybe
minus Cristiano.
Minus Cristiano. It's the same team, so it's the same formation that he loves to play. So, but like Martin said, there's no excuses. And I'm expecting Mbappe to finally come through. And listen, we haven't even talked about Hazard yet. He came back, and I can't really tell you anything that he did because
I thought didn't he have a decent performance against who did he what game was it? I don't remember.
It was about 3 weeks ago when we won, and then he got hurt again. Then he was out 2 weeks.
Well, that was Hazard for you.
So
yeah.
Okay. It doesn't, what I'm saying? Like, to me, we all know when you just have one basic striker on your club, you need another one. And when you don't have that other one, you can't expect your one guy to play 90 minutes.
Bro, how much did you guys pay for Luka Jovic?
Like 60.
He hasn't done anything either. Right?
If I could sell him back to Frankfurt and get half of that money back, oh my God.
Yeah, but
that's the best money that Frankfurt's ever made.
Yeah.
I feel I'm honestly with Manny on this. I do feel like it's mostly the same team pre-Cristiano. Like, I feel like it's just like I don't want to say that Cristiano won them, those 3 Champions League titles, but
I mean, Bale single-handedly won one.
Yeah, I'll give him that.
One.
and that's when Zidane and Bale were not on great terms. I mean, they were on great terms actually.
They were never. Yeah,
and I feel like I don't know. I feel like he does kind of play favorites a little too much because I mean, it's like if you see James and Bale excelling over there in England, it's like, well, I mean, you can't be mad at that. I mean, you didn't play them. What would you expect? Like it shouldn't come as a surprise, and now they're a lot happier, now that they're playing, and I overall, for me, I feel like a coach in any sport, the number one responsibility should be to get the most out of their players and of the team overall. And I just feel like there's still a little more to be desired with this Real Madrid team. There's still a lot of quality players on the team. Like Modric and Kroos are one of the 2 best, but they're 2 of the best midfielders in the world still. But I don't know. It's just they're kind of just staying afloat right now.
Yeah, and then Kai, just one last thing before we end it or whatever. We have a lot of young guys that belong to the club, but we keep loaning them out, like Cobo. There was another player. We sent him out to Sevilla. He was a right back. I forget his name.
Kubo, Takefusa Kubo, or what?
Kubo and Reguilon or whatever. Yeah, he was great too. But Zidane doesn't trust those young guys to fit in his project.
I was confused when Kubo transferred, to be perfectly honest.
Well, because they don't
just
want
knowing the history.
Right. And also, one final thing. The relationship between Fiorentino and Zidane is like this. Like this. If it wasn't like this, Zidane probably wouldn't survive, to be honest with you. Even though he's won trophies, but if it wasn't that good of a relationship with the president, no way.
My prediction is Real Madrid 2, Inter 1, because when the butt cheeks get tight and and the pressure is on, I don't think Inter is capable of managing that pressure, and Real Madrid does have the pedigree from the manager and from its recent history, where when it needs 3 points, it's gonna get them no matter where they are. So I know there's no Sergio Ramos. I know that there's a lot of injuries, and I know it's in Italy. But some way, somehow, that Real Madrid is gonna pull this off and be able to breathe with 7 points in that group. So that's what I think. And most importantly, I know you guys care a lot, but Boca is gonna win 2-1 tomorrow against Inter in Brazil. So
there you go.
Okay.
Also, guys, so a couple of matches over the weekend to watch. If you're an EPL fan, you got Man City at Burnley. Everton at Leeds should be fun. West Brom at Sheffield United. We're not going to talk about the France League because as we know, it's all PSG. A couple of interesting matches, though, from La Liga. Valencia and Atletico Madrid and Elche versus Cadiz. I know you guys don't even know how to pronounce that. Sunday, Chelsea at Tottenham and Arsenal at Wolves. So there you go. Oh,
Wolves are on a downturn. They're going to...
Yeah, so...
All right, with that said, I will say one key matchup tonight. If you haven't watched any of the MLS playoffs, I highly recommend it. Every single game has been a great game, and LAFC Seattle is about to kick off. That's what you should do after this show. That's like
the Pac-12 of the MLS, late night with LAFC,
and it's gonna be a great game, high scoring, gonna be nuts.
Oh man.
All right. With that said, I think we're gonna head out and we'll see you guys next week and wrap up all the action that's coming this weekend and some more Champions League stuff as well.
Yeah, guys, have a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Stay safe, guys. Stay safe and healthy.
Smack them on the side of the head, man, and tell them to get with it, man. Because I'm tired of being stuck at home for most of my time.
Yeah, definitely. Wear your mask. Be safe. Be smart.
Listen, the quicker people put on masks on their face, the quicker we're gonna have a Champions League atmosphere. But right now, that's not gonna happen anytime soon.
I don't want a Champions League atmosphere. I want a Libertadores atmosphere. I want it to be crazy.
And by March, I want Lockhart Stadium to be full. So
there you go.
All right, have 5 random football guys in Lockhart eventually.
Listen, I will make a promise to you guys. Once this gets all handled, right? Because you'd think it'd be handled by now. I'll make sure that at a game next year, we all get together, and I'll make sure you guys are in the middle of Vice City, man.
There we go.
Oh, my God.
Be beautiful, dude. You guys have no idea what it's like.
You feel right at home because most of the fans at Vice City are from Argentina, and they love San Lorenzo. You'll feel right at home, bro.
Well, San Lorenzo sucks, but okay. I mean,
watching, man.
Oh, man. All right. Next week, guys. Happy Thanksgiving. All right. Have a good one.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys.